Joined at the Carolina Tennis Center by head coach Kevin Epley. A beautiful February day here as the Gamecocks getting back on the practice courts. Got the first weekend of SEC play in the books on the road at Auburn and Alabama. A split weekend, 4-2 loss at Auburn, but a 4-2 win at Alabama in your last matchup. Let's talk about both of those. Starting with Auburn, we knew that what a tough matchup that was going to be. Auburn ended up beating Florida last weekend too, their first win ever against Florida. Clearly a very good team there in Auburn. What did you see from the match? Seemed like the doubles went well again. Doubles play seems to be going well overall. Like South Carolina's kind of maybe got that part of its game figured out. I'm still trying to do some work in singles though. So tell me about that match and what was going on out there.
Auburn is much improved from last year, as I expected they would be. They had a coach transition, so sometimes it takes a year to get yourself organized with a new team and so on, and it looks like they've gotten that taken care of. Doubles was good. We've won the last 3 doubles points, and we feel good about our doubles right now. So that's definitely a step in the right direction. We was focusing a lot on that for a few weeks. Then we had to start really focusing on being what we would call performers, meaning committed with heart, mind, and legs, and every cell in your body is engaged in the process. So we're doing better with that now. That was definitely a positive for this past weekend. Now the next big step is going to be playing better tennis, better singles. We've been looking at video and so on, and we're not, on some courts, just not committed to our games, not hitting effective balls, not consistent enough. And so we're going to be spending the next 3 days on that. Hopefully we can get it by this weekend, but if we can't, we'll get it by next weekend. So it's a process like any season. It's just you keep moving up the ladder, and you tackle the next challenge. But we've been tackling them. I mean, the girls have made the appropriate moves with the doubles and made the appropriate moves with the attitudes and the performer. So now we just got to get them to be intentional about playing their games and believing in what it is they do, and then presenting that when they walk out on the court. Another thing we got to work on, and we've been, before this year we hadn't lost a on the road SEC match in 3 years. And a lot of that had to do with where are we at 3/4 in the match, and we always get tougher in that scenario. We haven't been doing that as well this year. We get to that point in the match, and the shoulders start dropping, and ball tolerance starts to go down, and we've got to switch that too. So I would say better tennis, committing to our games, and being tougher for the final third of the match.
Well, against Alabama, you did get the 4-2 win there, so it's certainly nice to get going in the right direction. Did you see some of that in that match? Again, the doubles play looked like it was very good once again, and then singles, I mean, it certainly wasn't easy when you look at those scores. South Carolina certainly had a battle out there, but in the end you did get the win. So did you see some improvement there on Sunday?
To be honest, I think Mia started a little slow, but got herself going. It seems like she's firing on all cylinders. As far as the other courts go, I really feel like we competed hard, and we did that performer stuff. But really, in terms of the tennis, we got to do better. It's hard to hide from that reality. So, but that's what we're gonna do. I mean, we got video. We're gonna be working on it this week. We're gonna set our intention and get goal oriented for this weekend, and just inch by inch we pound the rock.
It seems like 3-set matches have not been kind to South Carolina this year. I mean, you look at the Furman match, there were 3 of them, didn't get any of those. Saw some this past weekend, 3-set matches that didn't go in South Carolina's favor. Is that just what goes into that? Is it more mental than anything? Is it conditioning? Just what is it that has to happen to sort of get these 3-set matches turned around and in our favor?
Well, that's kind of gets back to what I was saying earlier. It really gets back to this idea that you're going to get energized and you're going to bring the best of yourself at the end of the match, and you just refuse to give up, and you basically commit to stepping up, and you refuse to lose. A week ago, I think we were 5-20 in 3-set matches this year, and I think it's worse now, 5-24 or something like that, or 7-24, something that isn't very South Carolina-like. And to be honest, I think it's a couple things. The first is that we are emerging from this sort of place where we weren't quite right in the competitive mindset, heart, mind, legs. And so because we weren't in the right mindset late in the match, it's even harder to access what you need to access. It's harder to become more energized if you have some narrative about how bad you are at tennis or whatever is going on in your mind. That's one thing. The other thing is if you lose a lot, you don't have confidence. So it's sort of like a feedback loop. And you get into these situations and you're a little tight and you want to win to get that one win, but you're not really feeling confident. So, there's some variables there, but we really talked about that this last weekend. We've really got to push that. So those are the two big things right now. We've got to, make sure we don't take a step back, but also make sure that we are committing to our games and we are bringing the best of what we can out to the courts, that we're prepared to do that when we step out on the court. And then 3/4 in the match, we got to get tougher and tougher and tougher. I mean, that's just, it was nice to turn the corner against Alabama as far as that goes, because that match was closer than it looks. All these matches in the SEC are close. I was telling the girls, for that 3-year stretch where we didn't lose anything on the road, it didn't mean we didn't have 4-3 matches. We had tons of 4-3 matches, playing teams that were ranked, 10 spots below us. It comes down to that. But it was always in those situations that you step up to win. Every single one of these matches in the SEC, I don't care who you play, can go either way.
All right, we'll turn our attention to this weekend. It's Texas A&M on Friday, LSU on Sunday. Texas A&M unfortunately didn't get to compete last weekend with COVID protocols in place, but I think we fully expect that they will be here this weekend. LSU did get to compete on the road at Kentucky and Vanderbilt and got 2 really close wins. Like you said, all these matches are close. Theirs were 4-3 and 4-2, but they did get the wins. They are undefeated on the year. They're 7-0 overall, now 2-0 to kick off SEC play. And we know A&M's usually got a very strong program year in and year out. I believe they're 8-2 on the year right now. So both in the top 25, of course. South Carolina's in the top 25. I have to imagine both these matches very well could be 4-3 matches as well.
Well, we expect these to be, all of these matches we expect to be, just absolute brawls. The key is to bring the best of ourselves to these matches, from the first ball hit till the last ball struck. So, it's 1 point at a time. It's getting into that point and using the time in between points to prepare, to give everything you have into that next point. That's all you ever have in a tennis match is the next point. And just for 3 hours, that's what you're going to do. Is take it one at a time and give everything you got. And we haven't fired on all cylinders yet this year, and we're making moves. We're definitely progressing, but we still got a ways to go. And we'll get there. We'll get there sooner or later, because it's just what we're going to do. I mean, we're making that decision. So hopefully we get it this week, and we can have some good home matches. Hopefully the weather holds up this weekend, and we can make some big jumps.
All right, Coach. Well, appreciate the time out here. We're definitely going to hope for great weather, and I'm certain we'll see some great tennis this weekend, and we'll check in with you after those matches.
All right. Thanks a lot.